Here we are, totally unplanned. A little conversation about education. This is my student. This is
Hello.
Susan, and she has been my student for
7 or 8 years.
you. Your English should be much better
I know.
after 7 or 8 years. But on the other side, we don't always meet every week. We meet sometimes once a month because you disappear and have lots of other things that you want to do in your life, like driving lessons for a driving test. But we won't talk about that one. Okay. And then we don't meet during summer, and so it's not like we have to meet every week and do lots of work. So when we first met, your English was at quite a low level. I think we started around about the first level
Yes.
course, and now I think you can go anywhere in the world and do almost anything with your English, and that's your hard work that's got you
I
there.
hope.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely go anywhere and do anything, and that's what happens if you put time and effort and energy and work into what you do. Over a long period of time, a little bit of work every day makes a huge difference to life. So, we're here to talk about education, and I know that sometimes when you come here, we talk a little bit about school and what happens in school, and I thought it would be nice to compare the Slovak state system with this teaching in a private school and get some of your ideas about the systems. So, where to start? What are your general feelings about the Slovak system that you go to school in? Are you happy with it?
I'm not happy with it.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So, when we're not happy with things, there are things that obviously need to be improved, to be made better. So, could you maybe give me one or two examples of things that you think maybe could be better?
Maybe better teachers.
Better teachers. So that means that some teachers are good and some teachers are bad, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it 50-50 or is it
50-50, I think.
It's 50-50. Okay. I think that that's not just about the Slovak state system. I think whichever country you go to, you will find something similar to that, where you go into school and you can't choose your teachers, right?
Right.
And that makes a bit of a problem, because what happens if there's a teacher that's not good at teaching the subject, or that you don't like for some reason, or they don't like you? Are there any examples of that you have from your school?
I think there are many good teachers,
Okay.
but I think the problem is that they can't teach what they want to teach, what is necessary, I think. And that's the problem.
That's a very important point, that a lot of teachers don't have control over what they teach. They are in a big system, and when you get the students, they're at this level, and at the end of the year they have to be here, and here's your books. And that's it. Which is sad, really, because education should be a bit more open, I think. Okay, so some of the teachers are maybe not as good as they should be. How do you know a teacher is not a good teacher? How do you know that?
Difficult question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know when they are explaining something and I don't understand it. I don't understand the way how they teach.
Okay. Is there any particular subject you can think of where the teacher says something and you sit there scratching your head thinking, I don't understand what they're talking
Yes, absolutely. The math,
about? Okay.
physics.
Okay. So what happens when you sit there in the class, the teacher's explaining something and you don't understand it? Can you put your hand up and say, "Excuse me, I don't understand what you're talking about," or what happens? Or do you just have to sit there quietly and
Yes, we can, of course, but I think the
okay,
problem is we are 27 in the class,
okay,
and someone is better, someone is worse,
uh-huh.
and that's the problem, that teacher can't do everything that they want.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if you think about it, on one side there's the teacher with one brain, and on the other side there are 27 students with 27 brains. Hopefully, there might be one or two that you're not sure about if it's still working, but but and then how old are you now?
17.
17. So what's 27 times 17?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. Let me work this. Let me work this out. Let's see. Let's see. 10 times 17 would be 170, and then 20, that would be 170. 170 is, what's that? 340, and I don't know, around 400. Okay. So collectively, your class has an experience of around 400 years. If you put all the years together, right, of the students. And the teacher has maybe, I don't know, 40 years experience.
Around 40.
Yeah. So you've got 40 years experience trying to teach 400 years experience. That's a bit mad, right? I'm sure 400 years experience collectively knows more than 40 years. But the teacher should be a specialist in their subject. And teachers get trained. They get trained for 3 years, 4 years?
5 years, I think.
5 years. And still around 50% of them come out of the pedagogical faculty not able to teach. What about the ages of teachers? Are they more younger, older, mixed completely?
I don't know. I prefer younger teachers.
Because
Maybe they know the modern way how to teach students, how to make them listening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is there a difference between the way older teachers teach and younger teachers teach?
What's the difference?
Yeah. Is there a difference there?
I don't know. Younger teachers are using modern technologies, for example.
That's what computers and I don't know what kind of modern technology you have in schools.
Computers.
Okay.
We are watching videos.
Okay. So when you watch a video, there's like a monitor, and you all sit around the monitor and watch something there. Okay. What about things like smart boards, like big digital whiteboards like this? Is there anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So the younger teachers are better with the technology.
Yes, I think.
Okay. What about the materials and books that you use in school? These are new books or old books, or?
We have old books, but new books too, so.
Okay, so it's a mix.
Yes, it's a mix.
Yeah, and new isn't always better. Sometimes the old books are better.
Yes, I think older are better.
That's interesting. Why do you think the older ones are better?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nicer pictures? Or, Usually older books have more
Information.
information in it, exactly.
New books have more pictures and things like that.
Yeah, little cartoons and jokes and things, and less details and information. So how do there must be teachers in your school that make their subjects really interesting and you like being in their classes. So what makes a subject a good subject, or a teacher a good teacher? You know, what are the classes that you enjoy in school?
Who is good teacher? Or
Which classes do you like in school, and why do you like them?
I like chemistry
Okay.
because we have good teacher.
Okay.
She's been teaching us for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
so she know us at
Mhm.
all. And we are watching a lot of videos, a lot of presentations.
Mm-hmm.
And for lazy students, how is me,
Mm-hmm.
it's better to watch videos, and I think it's better than just listening.
So do you have classes then where the teacher just stands at the front and talks?
No, it's good, but I think not every teacher can talk interesting.
Okay. What about the number of male teachers and the number of female teachers? Is it about 50-50, or are there more?
I think in my school it's 50-50,
Uh-huh.
but I think in other schools there are more females.
Yeah. I think as you go down through ages, like if we go, it's better to go the other way, wouldn't it? If you start at the beginning, like in nursery school, when children are 3, 4, 5, it's all women, and then you get into primary school, and it's all women, and then you get into secondary school, and there's a few more men there, probably teaching, I don't know what. And then you get into university, and there's probably even more men in that area. It's just that women are better with the younger children, I think. They're probably better with the older children as well. Probably better all round, actually. So what happens if you've got a bad teacher in a subject? Because if you that can destroy the subject, right, for you.
Yes, it also can destroy your future. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, but if you want to study that subject, it would be a problem.
And students don't really in general have much power to change their teacher. First of all, a lot of students don't know the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher. They just go to school because they have to go to school anyway, because there's a law that says you will go to school. Because if there was no school, oh my God, the students would be, I don't know, starting businesses, going to the gym, visiting cafes, bars, pubs, maybe traveling, all these things you can't do because you're stuck in school. Right. So I know that there was some experience that we talked about before, about there was a bad teacher in a subject, and the students wanted to change the teacher. Can you tell me a little bit more about what happened?
If you want to change teacher?
Yeah, if there's a possibility to do that.
There's usually no possibility.
Oh, okay. So that's terrible for students.
Yes, that is.
Because as you said, it can destroy your future, especially if it's in a key subject like mathematics or
English maybe.
In English for future prospects in other countries, or even in the Slovak language for job opportunities in Slovakia. Okay. Do you know what you want to study in the future? Yeah.
I don't know yet.
It's a hard choice, isn't it? It's hard because there are so many different types of jobs available in the modern world. So many different types of colleges and courses. Do you want to stay in Slovakia and study, or do you want to go to another country?
I don't know, I think I want to go to another country
Because
it's better system, or
in general, people say that there are better systems in other countries, and I think that's because Slovakia still doesn't have the resources, the money to invest in higher education. Although money does not always make everything better, especially in state systems, where they usually complain, "It's not working, we need more money. No, it wasn't enough, we gave you..." So they just complain and get more money. Anyway, let's compare that with your experiences here in the private school. How would you compare your language classes in school with your language classes here?
it's better because
It's better there, or it's better here?
it's better here.
Thank you.
Because I don't know, teacher is always talking in English.
Okay. That doesn't always mean that it's going to be good for you, though. Because you can get native speaker teachers who talk too much sometimes, which is not a good thing. There has to be a balance with the grammar as well as other things. You have to do your own work as well.
Yes.
Yes. You wouldn't believe the number of excuses and reasons for students not doing homework that I have to deal with. And they're always creating new ones. Students are the most creative people in the world.
That's true.
I think that I have heard every single excuse about why someone has not done their homework, and I always hear new ones. So maybe focusing on students' creativity would be a good idea. So how do you? Okay, let's compare it a little bit more. Let's see. How do you feel when you go to a language class in school, and how do you feel when you come here?
I don't know. I think it's the same. The feeling is the same.
Okay.
But the feeling after the lesson is not the same.
So something happens in the middle. Okay, so explain why the feeling after the lesson is different.
I don't know, because you work harder on this lesson, because there are less people, more time.
Okay, what you're saying is you work harder, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because it's individually focused. So you have to. If you're in a class of 27 students and you have a language class in school, I have this feeling that the teacher just throws out lots of information and hopes that the student catches some of it. It's a little bit crazy. And there are students who are your age who have been studying languages, maybe English, for 5-6 years, and they still don't have good skills. I don't understand how that is possible. That people can just go nowhere for 6 years with their language skills. Do you think it's to do with the school, or to do with maybe the family at home? Maybe not pushing the students enough to work. What do you think is more important for being a good student? That the school motivates you, or your parents motivate you?
I think if you motivate yourself is the best.
Yes, because you can't depend on anyone else to do anything for you. Absolutely right. So what about your parents or your family helping you with things for school? Do they help you? You have to. You're gonna say like, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I think your father.
Yes, my
helped.
parents motivated me a lot with
Okay.
English.
Mm-hmm. And your brother? He's okay. He's not at home, right? So
Yes.
so it's difficult. But your brother was a good student, right?
I don't know if he was a good student.
Okay. It was more important to be a good brother than a good
Yes,
student.
but he's a
Yeah.
good brother.
Okay. See, I think your brother was intelligent, very intelligent. At the time when I taught your brother, he was one of the most intelligent students that I ever met. He's in my top 10 of students, I
Yes.
think. And it must be hard to follow that. If you've got a brother who's got that talent and those skills. No?
Yes, but I think I have the same.
It's good. Well, it's also good to know what skills you have. It's good to know what you can do and what you can't do at the same time. So
No, but he was a big motivation for me in everything, and I followed him in a lot of things.
yeah, it's nice to have some target to aim at. It can be difficult as well if it's a very high level, but it's nice to have that, and it's much better than the opposite, right? Which would just be terrible, like no motivation and no help. And now your brother's finished university, right?
Yes, this year.
Yeah. And it's the big step from the end of university to the beginning of work, which I imagine he will just take very easily, as if it's no problem at all, because he's a talented person. Summer school. This summer you were in
Malta,
Malta, and the year before you were
in England.
in England. Okay. Let's start with England and the English summer school. You went there to study English
Yes, for 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks. Good idea to do that?
I think yes.
Okay. How did you feel before you went?
I was feeling stressful. If I can speak in English, think in English.
Okay. Which I imagine that's absolutely normal for all students who go through that experience. And how did you feel after the course? Did you feel your English was better? Did you feel that you learned something?
I didn't think my English was better in grammar or vocabulary, but I think my speaking was better.
Okay. And the people that were on the course, they were all from Slovakia, or they
From
were
Europe.
from Europe, different countries in Europe. Do you have any contact with them still?
Yes,
Okay. That's through Facebook or?
through Facebook, WhatsApp.
Okay. Help me. What is WhatsApp? Facebook I know really well, but
Mobile
WhatsApp.
application
Is it similar
where you
to
can chat with Facebook. No, it's just for chatting.
like,
It's not like Facebook.
okay, so chatting by writing or chatting by speaking?
Speaking and writing.
Speaking and writing. So you can You press a button and you can speak directly with somebody
Yes.
that's there. Okay. Wow, that's cool. That's the best thing about courses like that is you meet people from different countries and you can keep contacts, and maybe if you meet somebody from Spain, you can go to Spain later on or something like that. So that's cool. Malta was better or worse or the same for you?
Difficult question.
Okay. Maybe because it was different?
Yes, it was different, I think.
Okay.
I think in English lessons, the England was better. Because we were more learning and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And what were you doing in Malta? Let me guess. The weather was nicer.
I can't say that. Maybe my parents will watch this video.
Okay. Yeah, it was all those extra classes that you had to do in Malta were very tiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always sleeping.
Yes.
Little bit.
Yeah, it was all those you had to get up really early, and it was always didn't get much sleep, I imagine, and you were tired all of the time, and the buildings were all hot, and it was difficult to focus, and something like that, maybe.
Yeah, but the weather was good.
Yeah, it's much better than England. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the weather everywhere is better than England, except in Scotland, where it's actually much worse. So you have a lot of experience with education and different systems. You've got the Slovak system, so you've done the summer school in England, you had the summer school in Malta, you have been attending this private school, and I imagine you maybe have some other tutors who help you with some other subjects from time to time? Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Which is your parents supporting your education, right? By paying money to other teachers. That's crazy, isn't it? That the government takes money from people to provide the education, and still parents still have to pay more to find private teachers when they want a really good education for their children. So, with all this experience and still being in the education system, what do you expect to get from a teacher when you have a class?
I want to get information to remember.
Okay. Can you give me an example of what you think a good teacher is?
Is communicative.
Okay.
Intelligent.
It helps.
Nice.
like nice hair or
No, like nice mind.
He's got a really nice mind. Okay. I don't know what does that mean, that they're polite and thoughtful and caring.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay.
I think good teacher must be helpful. Must be motivation for students.
Mm-hmm. A good example in all of the things that they do. Perhaps. In Slovakia, there is the law that all students have to go to school. But it's not like that in all countries. For example, in Great Britain, in the United States, in Finland. Those are the three main countries that I know about. There are other systems of education. There are quite a few private schools, and there's homeschooling where parents organize their education for their children at home. What do you think about something like homeschooling?
I know, I think it's not good to children.
Okay. And this is because the parents don't have enough information or knowledge, or
Maybe, but I think it's better when the children come to school to another children's.
Mhm.
Stay with them in the class, talk with them.
It's definitely more fun in that sense, I think. Let's look at it another way. When you wake up in the morning, how do you feel about going to school?
Unhappy.
But all your friends are there.
Yes,
Why do you feel unhappy about going to the place where all your friends are?
because I'm tired.
Were you tired this morning?
Yes, I was.
That was probably because of the extra activities at the weekend. I imagine. But in general, Monday to Friday, when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel good about going to school. No. Does that feeling change when you arrive at school? Or is it still...
A little bit, sometimes.
How do you feel when school finishes for the day?
Happy. I feel happy.
Shouldn't it be the other way around, that you should wake up in the morning and feel, yeah, school, I'm gonna learn so much, be with my friends, and yeah, I'm gonna drive my life forward. Wow, I'm so super motivated. And then when school finishes, you should be, oh, I want some more of that or something. Isn't it strange that it seems to be negative? And I think most students have the same experience that you have, where they don't really feel very happy in the morning about getting up and going to school. And if a teacher doesn't come to a class, how do you feel? It depends which class it is, I suppose. I'm sure there are some times when a teacher doesn't come to a class, you're really happy that they're not
I don't
there.
know, I can't describe that feeling.
Okay, that's a good answer. What do your parents think about the education in the school that you get?
I don't know, I think they're unhappy with it.
How do you know that they're unhappy with it? Is there something?
I think more they're unhappy with my marks.
Mhm. Are you happy with your marks?
No, I'm not.
Why are you not happy?
Because I think I can have better marks if I study harder. But I'm too lazy sometimes.
Well, there's always more. We can always do better. We can always work harder. That's not really the problem. You're probably not the only student who is lazy. I imagine there are many students in that position. Why do you think you're lazy? I mean, you do most of the homework most of the time for this class.
Yes.
I do have to kick your ass sometimes, but you do have these wonderful creative excuses and reasons for not doing your homework. But why do you think you're lazy?
I think it's not lazy, but I think it's not interesting for me.
So when a subject is not interesting, you just switch off,
Yes.
basically. Yeah. So how much of school, or how much of school on the subjects is not interesting for you?
The most of them.
Most of them. Okay. So you're an energetic, intelligent teenager, and more than half of the time you spend in school, you feel that you have to switch off because either the subject is not interesting for you, or the teacher is not presenting the information in an interesting way, or the weather's just bad, or it's dark outside, or something. Isn't that a little bit crazy that so much time is wasted?
Yes, but I think life isn't only about good times.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang, that you need one to appreciate the other. If it was party all the time, well, I remember my first 3 or 4 months of university being something like that, and not having a problem at all, except I ran out of money a few times. Bit of a problem. But yeah, we need to put some energy in and some time in to get some things out of the system as well. But it's hard because you're just one person fighting against a whole system, and you want to learn, and you want to study, and you want better grades and marks, and you want to be better. But there's almost no possibility for you to change anything. I think that's the battle and the fight that a lot of students have. I think that everybody wants to learn something, but they very often don't get the opportunities and the chances that they need to learn those things, or to change things. Although there are some elements of flexibility, especially in the Slovak system, where students can sometimes negotiate their own study plan from time to time. But it's hard, I think, to be a student in your position, and I think that students should have more opportunity to change things and experiment with things, because it's all about you, right? I mean, you're the person who's receiving the product. The product is education. If you go into a shop and you buy something and it's not good, or you don't like it, or it doesn't work, you take it back and you say, I want something better. Can't really do that in the education system. You protest or complain, and people say, okay, sit down, shut up. It's hard, and not just for students, also for parents as well. Closing comments. The education that we try to provide in this private language school is slightly more personalized. We try to take a little bit of time to care about the students. What would you say about the education that's here?
In this school?
Yeah.
It's better than in the state schools. Because you are learning English in general.
And
you will have good teacher.
Thank you very much. I'll give you the money later.
Okay.
I think that students need a personalized education. They need something that focuses on them, because everybody's different. Everybody needs something different. You can't just throw 27 students in a room and expect everything to work fantastically when there's only one teacher there. So education really should be personalized and be focused on the individuals. And the great thing about doing this private education is that I'm motivated by the students. You tell me you like it, you get some more of it. You tell me you don't like it, we change it and we try to find something better for you. And I think that that is how we make things better, and that is how we improve things. And the other great thing is I get to work with really motivated, really talented and really intelligent young people like you. So thank you very much for answering my questions about education, and I think I'm gonna pause the video.